Well, how about another song then before I start talking about something else?
That's all right. Yeah, this is Line the Avenues.
You ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 1, 2.
The sound of reveille wakes him out of bed. All the training in the world won't shake off the impending dread. The old fan on the ceiling does nothing to fight the heat, and the sweat rolls down their faces as they're giving the morning grief. He thinks back to 41 when he signed the dotted line, and the world lost its mind. It was the right thing at the time. You'll be a hero, son. You make the headline news when they declare we've won. They'll line the avenue. She pulls back on the stick for the 7th time today. The way the wind whips up a sandstorm reminds her of a hurricane. She counts 6 men in the cabin. She doesn't know their names, but she knows that if they make it home, they'll never be the same. She thinks back to 91 when she signed the dotted line. Had the world lost its mind? It was the right thing at the time. You'll be a hero, man. You make the headline news. This one ain't Vietnam. They line the avenue. Woke me up early the day that I turned 10. There's something I want to show you. If not now, then I'm not sure when. An old book set on the table. There's photos from the war, and I listened as he shared what he'd been told he was fighting for. You'll be a hero, son. You make the headline news when they declare we've won. They'll line the avenues. And I think back to that day, sitting in the morning light, hearing my father's plight, a man lost in the fight. So I see things different now when I read the headline news. Every time they say we've won, I wonder what we lose.
It's WNCW Studio B, Line the Avenues, Henhouse Prowlers live in here. I can't remember exactly when that song released, but it seemed like it was right around the time when we had one of those military holidays.
It was Veterans Day.
Yeah, it was Veterans Day, right.
Yeah.
And so we were happy to play that on our Veterans Day bluegrass show. So yeah, great tune. And you were wise enough or curious enough or whatever to listen and soak that in. I mean, when we're little kids, a lot of times, like, that sounds like it's going to be boring. We don't listen. But, it's got to be some fascinating stuff.
Yeah, you definitely had to listen to my grandfather.
Oh, man, cool song. Thanks for playing that today. This maybe sound cheeky or whatever, but I've always loved the name of the band, and I wondered if you guys had like a story or some kind of history, maybe you, Ben, about how the name Henhouse Prowlers came to be.
I wish it was a better story. We're a bluegrass band from Chicago, and we wanted a band name that didn't sound like every band name that's ever bluegrass. We didn't want it to be the something Mountain Boys. There's no mountains in Chicago, and so I reached out to my dad, who's a writer, and said, can you help me come up with a band name? And he sent me 50 names on a piece of paper, and the very last one was Henhouse Prowlers. And he doesn't even really remember doing that. So,
you wonder how that popped into his head, right?
But we all liked it immediately.
The Chicago Mountain Boys.
That's right.
Just doesn't roll off the tongue.
No. The snowy mountain boys. The windy.
Hey. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, and I was reading. I always like to look at the websites and all that. In fact, I grabbed a quote off your website, which I thought was. I was like, man, you nailed what my interpretation, listening to your music, kind of nailed what you got. Reverence for tradition coupled with willingness to explore beyond the ordinary. I thought, that sounds exactly like what they do, and at least what I, take away from your music. There was something else I was going to say, and I put myself off the track there.
We're definitely like a group of, like Chris said, a group of individual songwriters that I think brings to the band the sound. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but Chris is such a different songwriter than me, and so is John. And Jake is just another planet. And so it really gives it a unique sound. I think, something we really like.
Your picking is pure as far as the music goes, but the way you compose and you definitely put your own style, your own swirl on it, if you will. I don't know what the word is, but the reason that I was on Chicago and what I was going to mention was reading about you buying your first banjo in Chicago there, and you just don't hear stories like that. You hear somebody bought one of Earl's old banjos over here in Big Thicket, but in Chicago you just don't think about guys going shopping for banjos or anything.
Yeah, and that's we've been able to get to know North Carolina. We spent a lot of time in Shelby, believe it or not, where Earl's from.
Yeah,
and hearing those stories, and it is amazing. We've been on the porch picking with people, and they show up with better banjos than ever have passed through Chicago. That's for sure.
What are you playing today, by the way?
This is a Huber. So it's Steve Huber's a very well regarded banjo player, but I didn't get it in Chicago.
Now, do you still have that one you bought for $200?
I do. That was a Gold Tone CC 100. Yeah, I still have that. It was a good banjo to start on.
Well, I like to ask about things like this I know I've got a faction of instrument nerds out there, who are listening in. Chris, what are you playing there?
Yeah, so this is a custom-made guitar actually built by Jake, our mandolin player's dad.
Wow.
He's a builder out of Monroe Falls, Ohio, and this is number 10. It's about 2 years old, and I feel like the luckiest guy ever.
It sounds great. Sounds great. And John, what are you playing there?
Oh, it's just an old K. Well, I guess
an old
as
K.
Ks go, it's on the newer side. It's a 1967 K, so near the end of the K run. But I always liked the fact that it was made in the same year and in the same city where my parents got married.
Wow.
They're not married anymore, but the bass is still here. So, they're still great friends. So it's all good.
And it looks and sounds great, and you don't look like you're ready to break up with it. So
I'm very happy with this one.
Sounds great. What about your Mando, Jake?
Well, I've been lucky enough to get number 770 from Gilchrist himself. And I've had it for about 4 years, and it's kind of been my companion on the road.
All right. Are you like a lot of the other Mando players and own like a whole fleet?
He sure
You
is.
have no
He's,
idea.
You have
he's
no
got a
clue.
problem.
I wouldn't say it's a problem. all
I
right?
would.
I would say I'm. I don't know. You know,
You're an
a
investor.
collector. I'm an investor of
He's
mandolins.
an investor,
I play 'em.
enthusiast. You know, I'd be willing to bet you've got several banjos and you've got a bunch of guitars maybe, and
He's not wrong.
and you maybe have a couple more Ks and probably some electric basses.
I know he's got a
I've
tuba.
got
Mostly
several
just the
electric
tuba, right?
basses, for sure, and a tuba. And I've got, I've got a Chadwick for when we fly places, one of those folding basses. So that's handy for those cases.
And those basses, they say the bass on Slim Fast. Is that what you're talking about? One of the little folding
No.
things?
No. It's like when you unfold it, it looks just like this.
Okay.
It's this size.
But the
It's
neck
just-
goes in the body. Man, everyone loves that thing. That's
do.
kind of takes over the show when we bring it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
All right.
And a little tiny anecdote about Chris's guitar. It's made by Jake's father, Marty, and Marty, before he built guitars, made the pistons for NASCARs. Isn't that right?
Yeah. Cylinder heads.
Yeah, cylinder heads.
right.
Which I think is just fascinating. He went from, I mean, that's got to be one of the most precise jobs in the world to making an instrument that deserves precision,
Yeah.
you know, and it's just
Well, he
pretty
talked
cool.
about moving from metal to wood, basically.
Yeah, he just said, what did he say? He said, wood is just soft metal.
That's great.
Your dad sounds like
He's a cool guy.
He's
cool
awesome.
guy.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Does he build anything besides guitars?
No, it's mainly guitars.
Just guitars.
Yeah, he
Doesn't-
realizes, I mean, we hang around enough mandolin builders to know that it's a hard instrument to build. One of the toughest. And so he's staying with guitars for now.
He's doing a great job.
Oh yeah, I'd say so.